Welcome to the Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business Podcast. My name is Sally Harrison, and I'm the CEO of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. Today, we are in the University of Phoenix podcast studio. Joining me today is Byron Adams, the Technology Director and Chief Technology Officer at AZCOMP Technologies. That's a mouthful. Welcome, Byron.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for being here this morning. I have a lot of questions for you because I don't know enough about your company.
Okay.
So tell us what AZCOMP is and give us maybe a little history about AZCOMP here in Mesa.
Okay. So AZCOMP Technology is a technology solutions provider. So essentially we're providing technology solutions mainly to medical and dental offices.
Okay.
We do go outside of that on occasion. So we've been in business for about 20 years. And we started in 2000. Almost, well, we're not quite 20 years, almost.
Okay.
Our 20-year anniversary is this year. So we have about 30 employees.
Great.
And our job is just to try to make technology work for businesses and make business owners' life a lot easier and just allow them to focus on what they do best and allow us to do what we do best.
So I said AZCOMP and you said AZCOMP.
Yes, that is.
So you go by
true.
AZCOMP.
We go by AZCOMP.
Okay, got it.
AZCOMP is acceptable as well. We do get called AZCOMP a lot, and that's okay. But yes, when we refer to ourselves, we call ourselves AZCOMP.
Got it. So you mentioned medical and dental. I assume that's what you specialize in.
Yes. So we specialize in medical and dental practices. And like I said, we do go outside of that.
So when you go outside of that, what does that look like?
Really just a business who has technology needs. And a lot of times it's a business who's looking for somebody who's a little bit more security minded.
Okay.
So obviously in the medical and the dental world, you have to be really cognizant of security because of the regulatory requirements with HIPAA and everything else that exists within that world to make sure that, doctors and dentists are protecting the information from patients that they're given. So typically companies will reach out to us because they know that we have that specialty and they may be a little bit more interested in somebody who's got that mindset that you might have when you work with medical or dental practices.
Well, I would think if you can handle those types of businesses, some of the others are a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has their own little, nuances and things that are, you have to get used to. But yeah, technology is technology.
Sure.
And so, yes.
Okay. Well, tell me what you think makes AZCOMP unique in this industry.
So what I think makes AZCOMP unique is honestly our culture. We have a really good family-centered, very fun environment to work in.
I saw some pictures just recently from a visit that Linda made to your office.
If you go to our building and you were to take a little tour around, you would find that we're kind of a fun environment to work in. We work hard. We're not, having fun all the time. We're a very hard-working company.
Work hard, play hard.
That is actually one of our core values is to work hard and play hard. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah. So I really think that's what makes us unique is the culture that we have there at the company. And we've worked really hard over the last, we didn't always have that culture, but we've built that out probably over the last 10 years when we really started working on our culture. So
that's great. In what ways have you helped clients in the past with their technology?
So I'll give you a couple examples. We have a medical office in Mesa that we've worked with. And when they came to us, when you're in a business, you have lots of different technology vendors. So you have your internet provider, usually in Mesa, that's going to be Cox or CenturyLink or something like that. You have, your phone provider. You have somebody who's doing your alarms. So there's all these different vendors. And for them, their struggle, everybody's different, but their struggle was working with those vendors and trying to, navigate that. And so essentially, they really wanted a partner that would come in and help them navigate that situation for them. They were having a lot of problems with billing, with getting things fixed. Every time they called somebody out, they would come out and it seemed like it would break something else. Right. So what we did that was unique for them is we basically own those relationships and we worked with those vendors because we can talk their lingo. understand what they're trying to do.
Right.
Whenever they would come out, we would also come out.
Nice.
And we would make sure that whatever they did didn't impact the rest of their business. And over a period of time, always takes a little bit of time to work through some of these issues, but over a period of time, we were able to get things really working well for them.
That's great.
Their vendor situation all figured out, things really cleaned up. Everything turned out really well with them, and we've had a great relationship with them for, they've been a customer for almost 3 years now. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So in our digital world, there seems to be almost a daily story about companies that have been impacted by cybercrime. What are you seeing at AZCOMP, and what do you feel the future trends in cyber threats will be?
So honestly, what we're seeing right now, and I think that most other people that are in the industry would, confirm this, is a lot of ransomware.
I know some folks who've been hit.
Oh, have you?
It's scary.
It is scary.
Yeah.
It is really scary. So with, we get a lot of customers who call in that have ransomware attacks. We also see a lot of more like fraud, if that makes sense. Meaning, so as an example, we had somebody who called us. They weren't a customer, but they were looking for help. And they had a customer who had received an email from them, right? But it wasn't actually from them.
Sure, it just looked like it was.
Yeah, it looked like it was from them. Actually, their email had been compromised. And so it was coming from their email. But so their email was compromised. They sent it to one of their customers and said, hey, we need payment on this project. And they paid them to their bank account, right, to the hacker's bank account. And then they emailed them again a second time saying, hey, it didn't go through. Can you try this account number? And they did that 4 times. And so they made 4 payments of $4,000 each. So $16,000 total.
So it sounds like some of it is education, though, for the consumer. I mean, I wouldn't make 4 payments like that. Yeah. I think I'd catch on maybe after the first one.
After they asked you to make another payment.
Yeah.
It is. It's a combination. When we work with people, we call it layered security. So you need to have, the right technology components in place, like a firewall, and you need to make sure you have antivirus on your computer.
Sure.
But you also need to make sure that you're training your employees. And so we do, within our company, we have a training program that we use for our company internally, and we also use that for our customers. And so to try to basically educate them and help them to be able to identify things like that.
What's real and what's not.
Yes. And so we spend a lot of time really trying to educate people. In fact, I was just up in Wickenburg last weekend doing a
little hike.
Yeah, it's a ways away. We actually have a customer up there as well. So I went up there, and they were having a meeting and wanted to do a little training on cybersecurity. So we went up there and did some training with the museum and with some other museums in the area. So
we occasionally get things like that everybody's like, stop, take a look at it and determine if it's something real, or which usually it isn't, or what do you do with it? When you really look at it, a lot of our stuff has been somebody sending something that's supposed maybe from me, and it's not even close to my email address. So it's really easy to identify if you take the time to look on some of those things.
And that is really the first one when we're training people. That's the first thing that we tell people is when somebody's trying to get you to do something, they make it seem very urgent, and they want you to do it really fast, right? Because they don't want you to think about what they're asking you to do.
Sure.
And so if you just pause, think about what you do. We say think before you click. It's kind of the term we use.
I think we should use that around here.
So just really taking a minute to think about what's, what you're getting in your inbox or where you're going to online, before you follow, do a Google search and start going to all these different websites, really kind of look at where you're going and what you're doing. So
you've talked about all the businesses that you work with. Do you work with just like individuals, residential at all?
We do not.
Okay.
We do not work with individuals. So we are strictly a business to business company. I can't say we haven't helped, like if we have a customer and they need some help at home or something like that, we will do that on occasion, but
no quick and dirty checklist for people to just give their friends and families.
Well, in terms of advice, is that what you're?
Yeah,
certainly. obviously at home, a good thing to do to protect yourself is just to have a good antivirus program.
Sure.
One that we recommend is a product called Sophos, which is a great product. It's been on the market for a long time.
Can you spell that for us?
Sophos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So they're a great product. So we use them for a lot of things and really trust their company. But getting a good antivirus program at home, and then really just spending some time educating yourself. There's lots of content.
Think before you click.
Yeah, think before you click. But there are other tools out there as well, in terms of content filtering. In my house, we've used something called the Disney Circle because we have kids. We've also, we use screen time on our iOS phones, and so those kind of things, believe it or not, help protect you because they're blocking, things that might be inappropriate.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
cool.
Content filtering is what that's called, and that really does help protect your computers as well. So
great.
Yeah.
Well, if you could give our audience some advice about cybersecurity and protecting their business, what would it be?
Really, honestly, the number one problem that people have is they make assumptions about their business in terms of what they have in place. Like they think that they're protected, but they're not actually protected. So educate yourself would be number one, and then the second thing to do is just not to be complacent. So don't actually take some action. I know that this is not necessarily something everybody wants to think about all of the time. It's just something you kind of want to work, right? And it's great when it does, but it's really bad when it doesn't.
Right.
So you do have to be proactive, and you can't be complacent, especially in our day and age. We're all very dependent on technology. If it's not working in our business, the impact is different based on the business and what they do, but most of the time there's going to be a pretty significant impact on the business. And so you have to really think about that, and you've got to be willing to spend a little bit of time.
Right.
And sometimes that also means you may want to make a financial investment in making sure your business is protected.
Sure.
And it's so really my advice would be to just make sure that you're doing something. Don't sit idly by and just assume that everything's going to be okay.
Right.
You have to be proactive with this kind of stuff. And so that's what we do, is we really try to be proactive for our customers and make sure they have the right things in place.
So if people had questions, how do they reach you? Where are you located?
So we are in Mesa.
Yay.
On just right on, actually on the Mesa Gilbert border on Baseline and Power.
Okay-ish
area. And we are very available on the internet.
Sure.
So
what's your web address?
It's www.AZCOMP, so that's AZCOMP.com.
Okay.
Our phone number is 480-730-3055. If you call us, we will pick up the phone.
That's a plus.
And
that's unique.
yeah. One of our core values is delivering phenomenal.
That's
so
great.
We really try to deliver a really good experience to our customers. And if you look at us online, if you go to our website or look at our Google reviews, that will be confirmed.
Awesome.
We have lots and lots of reviews from lots and lots of customers out there. So
it sounds like perhaps we should be working with you to set up some kind of a informational seminar for our folks.
Yeah, we do that.
That
so
would be great.
More than happy to.
We'll have Bob set that up with you.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, Byron, thank you for joining us today on the Inside Business Podcast. You can find all of our episodes on the Inside Business Podcast at iTunes, Google Play, or your own favorite podcast website. You can also find them online at mesachamber.org. We hope to have you back. Sounds like there's always going to be new information.
It's always changing. It is a world that changes pretty rapidly, and we'd love to come back. Or I'd love to come back.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.